Now that you know how to create an array and how to iterate through an array, there are so many things you can do with an array. You can add up all of the values and find the average, or find the highest number, the lowest number. You can sort an array from biggest to smallest, or smallest to biggest. You can do all kinds of things with an array using loops. So you'll have lots of practice with arrays. In this example, I'm going to show you the algorithm for finding the biggest number in an array. And if you remember before, when looking for the biggest number, we created a variable and we initialized it to the first number that the user entered, right? And so when you're working with an array, it's the same thing, but the first number is going to be in position 0. So we are going to set or initialize our max variable to be the value that's in position 0. So the first number. It's a common mistake, like we talked about earlier, for people, coders, to set max to some, random number, maybe 0, or some other number. And that's incorrect because you don't really know what numbers are in the array. So you always want to set it to the first value, and then you'll compare after that. So I have my array, and I'm going to fill it, and then I'm going to set the maximum value to position 0, which is 7. You can see that over there. And then there are algorithms where I might ask you to tell me where the biggest number is. So we will create a variable called max position, and I'm going to set that at 0. That's going to be the index of where the biggest number is stored in the array. So I'll set that to 0 because so far 7 is the biggest number. And then I'll loop through the array and I'll compare, is the value at position I, which I is 0, bigger than max? Well, no, because it is max, right? So it's not going to execute that, and it'll go back up, and now I is 1, and it'll say, is the number in position 1, which is 19, is that bigger than max? That's true. So max will be assigned num sub 1, right? I is 1, and the element in position 1 is 19. So max gets updated to 19, and then max position gets updated to I. So that should be set to 1. You can see that it was set to 1. So far, the biggest number is 19 at position 1. And then I'll go through again, and it'll ask, is num sub I bigger than max? Well, -9, because I is 2. Let's see, that's -9 in that position. That's not bigger, so it should skip the if. And go back up. Now I is 3, and it'll say, is the element in position 3, which is 53, is that bigger than max? Yes. So it should update max. Updates it to 53, and then the position should be updated to 3. Okay, and then it'll go through and it'll look at the next one, which is -4. That is not. So then it'll hop out and it prints the biggest value is 53, which is stored at index 3. And I forgot a little space there. Bad user experience, but I would go back and put a space there.